guys, this is Sharad with ReSimpli, joining on this call with Justin Taylor. He's going to be sharing his experience about using ReSimpli. Justin, welcome to the call. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do you live? What market do you invest in? And how long have you been investing for?
Yeah, I've been doing real estate for about 5.5, 6 years now, in the Arkansas market. Um, I grew up in Louisiana, so I occasionally do some real estate there, just through word of mouth. I know people that send me stuff, so I flip some houses there, but mostly Arkansas. That's my bread and butter. Primarily a flipper. I've kind of bought. I've got right at 17 doors. I had up to 30 at one point, but I've sold off a lot. And this year, I've kind of gone back and forth between flipping and wholesaling. I'm sure most investors who are flippers kind of know how that is in terms of just, when you're flipping heavy, you might wholesale a little bit more just to keep the marketing pipeline heavy or going. So that's kind of what I do. I guess in terms of volume, um, I last year I've just been a one-man show. Me and my partner, we had a couple VAs and some acquisition guys. We tried to scale a little too quick. We hit some bumps in the road where we just kind of need to reset and focus on, rebuilding the foundation of our business. So right now, the current phase I'm in is just really focused on flipping better deals and then wholesaling anything that doesn't fit my buy box. So I guess that's kind of my story over the last 5 years up until now.
And do you mind sharing how many deals you think you'll be doing this year?
Yeah, I'll probably be hitting right at like 25. Nine of those are flips and the rest are wholesale deals.
Oh, that's pretty good for just you and your partner. That's incredible. Congratulations, especially given the market that we're in. Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate it.
how long have you been using ReSimpli for?
Uh, I think right at a year and a half now,
Okay.
if I'm correct, unless I'm getting my timeline off.
Okay. And what were you using before ReSimpli?
Before, what was I using? Shoot, I maybe Investor Lift. I know I've gone from Podio to Forefront to Investor Lift to I've probably tried all the CRMs and I can definitely say REimpli is probably my definitely my favorite.
Thank you. Yeah, so you decided to come to ReSimpli from, trying all the software. Like, what made you choose ReSimpli over something else?
Every CRM has different perks that might be better than the other one. I think for me, REI simply has like it definitely checks off all the boxes in terms of what I need, especially for a one-man show. It keeps everything in one. I think that was probably the first thing that caught my attention was maybe you had some marketing that kind of talked about how you can reduce all the different softwares you use, like Google Drive and Photos and phone system, and you have your own website on there, a dialer. You can kind of compile everything into one funnel. And then the next thing that I think that's what kind of got me interested. And then I think the thing that keeps me in it is just the, to me, the customer support, how quick everyone responds. Because that was probably the most frustrating thing about other CRMs is, you might send a message and it takes 2 or 3 days to get an answer. Whereas with y'all's customer support, I can, usually figure out the issue pretty quick. So to me, that's the main thing that I like the most about it because every CRM is gonna things come up, and to me what makes the CRM the best is probably how quick the customer support can respond and help you work through any issues.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, that's something we take a lot of pride in. That's something we invest a lot of money in just to make sure we're super, super quick with our responses. I don't know if you've had time to chance to try the live Zoom feature that we have. You literally click a button and then you have someone that you can be on a live Zoom in like
Yeah.
a minute and get your
Mhm.
questions answered.
I've done that
Um,
a few times. It's really
that's
nice.
awesome. Yeah. And what marketing channels are you using in your business right now?
And just direct mail and cold call.
Direct.
And then, I have my website that I'm kind of trying to work on in-house where every day I'm going on and trying to fix SEO things to eventually get SEO ranking really high, but I'm not looking at that as a primary channel. It's just something I kind of look at more as a hobby on the side. But no, direct mail and cold calling is probably my niche right now.
Cool. And what features in REsimpli do you find the most valuable if you had to pick a one or two features that you get the most value from?
It's hard to pick. It's hard to pick a favorite. I think the simplicity of the phone system and the communication with the sellers. I think that just how well they integrate in terms of being able to click on a lead and see and text, like even just texting them within the app so that you can keep track of that. And then I think there is a feature that I love looking at it weekly is like when you click on the home page, you can look at abandoned leads and it tells you
Right.
like, separate it by status, which ones might be abandoned. There's been several times I've clicked on that and I'm like, why is this lead not on a sequence or no task? And it might have, in other CRMs might have slipped through the task or slipped through the cracks. And I was able to kind of, find those leads in this. Because when you get at a certain level, you start getting 3, 4, 5,000 phone numbers and contacts in your CRM, and there's no way to know which one of those are not being
Absolutely.
followed up with. So I think that now that I'm talking out loud, that's probably my favorite feature there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's such a simple thing just to be knowing like every single lead is accounted for. I agree with that.
Mhm.
Would you say, I mean, because of that, like, have there been deals that you've been able to close that you might not have been able to close if you were not using REsimpli?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. There's a deal that one of my flips I picked up this year. They were just kind of sitting in my pipeline, not doing anything, and I was looking through that filter, and I found a lead that sent me an address, and I like never responded. Somehow I didn't respond to it. I ended up going on that appointment, and we got an accepted offer, and we ended up selling that flip. But yeah, that was definitely. It's kind of like it was like $20,000. Just I could have
Nice.
missed there. So.
Nice. That's perfect. Yeah. And that pays, that pays, that one flip alone pays for REsimpli for years. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. What,
Yeah.
what are your future goals? Like, we're towards the end of 2025, looking into the next year. What are your future goals and how do you see REsimpli playing a role in achieving them?
Yeah, I think I want my I've told you I'm down to like a one-man show. I'm wearing most of my hats right now. I would like to, over the course of the next few years try to rebuild where I'm rehiring an acquisitions guy and acquisitions like a virtual assistant and a dispo manager and a project manager. And I was even my rental properties, I was, managing those myself too. So I've recently hired a property manager to take a lot of that off my plate. And so just being able to give him access to the rental tab in there to kind of help him keep up with it will be helpful. And I think just, as a business owner, as you hire people, you want to make it simple for them. And the less resources you have, the more simple it is for them to do their job. So I really look forward to as I can grow the team, I can just plug them into one resource because the way I look at it, the more resources they have, the harder it is for them to do their job. And so just keeping it all in one funnel will, make it easier to hopefully lead and manage a team.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I totally get that. The more systems they have to log into, the more friction you're going to be adding. Oh my. Is there anything in particular about REsimpli you think that sets it apart from other real estate software that you've used or in the past or that you've seen on the market?
Man, I got to go back to the customer support. I know there's a lot of features in the system that definitely stand out, but if I had to pick like one, it's I used to wait tables and if somebody serves you bad food, that's not the waiter's fault. But all the waiter can do is keep your drinks full and check in on you. And so like if you want a good tip as a waiter, you keep their drinks full and you check in on them. And that's all you can really do on your end. And I kind of feel like it's that same concept where like the better the customer support is, the better everything else will work itself out. And so I'm an analogy guy. So that's kind of my story
I
to
love I
that's
love
kind
that
of my
analogy,
story
by
of
the way.
like the
Yeah,
customer support's so good that any issue you run into is probably going to work itself out because you're never going to have anything perfect. But to me, customer support's so great that all the minor, and when I say very minor, because there's not a lot of issues, any roadblocks you run into always work itself out really well. Um, that's probably
yeah.
my biggest thing that stands out.
Thank you, man. It's funny. I use that analogy with my customer support team also. I said if you go to a restaurant, they may have the best food, but if their customer support sucks or if their wait staff sucks, you're not going to go back. Or they may have an average food, but if the customer support is absolutely amazing, the wait staff is amazing, you may want to go back. So yeah, I appreciate you
Yeah.
sharing that. All right,
Yeah. Oh,
finally, someone. Go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah, that's funny you use the same analogy. I thought that was a good one.
Yeah, no, that's it's. I use that with my team all the time. All right, so anybody listening to this, if they're on the fence about using REsimpli in their business, anything you would like to say to them?
I would probably tell them, I mean, you're just missing out on a lot by not doing it. I mean, it's just that simple. You're
Awesome.
just missing out on a lot by not doing it.
Thank you. Thank you, Justin, for saying that, man. I appreciate. If anybody listening to this wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, my name's Justin Taylor, so you can look me up on either Instagram or Facebook. I try to post a lot about my business there. And then my email is justin.thehousebuyer@gmail.com. And so if you ever want to send me an email or DMs on Facebook or Instagram, I love talking shop about business stuff. And for whatever it's worth, if somebody's out there listening, I've hit enough failures and roadblocks in my business that if you're kind of in the valley and you need to talk to somebody about how to get out of the valley, I'm passionate about helping others. So for whatever it's worth, even if you want to send me a message to just talk through that or ask questions about REI Simply, I'd love to hop on a phone call.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.